G'day guys! Well, over the past couple of days I did a thing to my Radiomaster Tx16S. Now, essentially what I've done is I've changed a few switches around. I have plugged in a 2 position over there and a 2 position over there. And I've also plugged another latching toggle switch over here, and more details about this in a second. Now, one of the things that I really, and hopefully the guys from Radiomaster are looking at this, please release some alternative switch combinations on the aftermarket so that people can just open this up and change things. You know, it's so hard to work on these because the whole way they mounted onto the PCB switches, or the boards, there's kind of like a PCB attached to the switch, which joins 2 switches together. Great from a manufacturing point of view, utterly awful if you want to go edit stuff. And the thing is, OpenTX on this allows you to change what the switches do, and you can see this on the screenshot I'm going to pop on the screen now. There's a full facility to change what's connected to each port. And it just seems a shame to me that you can't easily just swap them. And as a classic example, traditionally, well, I'll turn this around so you can see it from your view. Traditionally, you've always got a toggle switch over here, but some people like it over here. Now, why is that? Classic example, someone flying a discus launch glider. In fact, even guys flying FPV wings, if you have a switch like that you're holding, you could program it in, for example, on a discus launch glider, to hold in a little bit of up elevator, so that when you launch, your model skyrockets up into the sky. As soon as you're at height, boom, you let go the stick, everything goes to neutral. It's the most logical. You're holding in this hand, it all just fits. But when that's on this side, or if you're having to use a switch, it's a little bit more cumbersome. So not everyone wants the switches exactly where they are for very good reason. So let's, you know, Radiomaster, up at one notch higher. Let's make it so these can be swapped around, because it would be fantastic. Now, this leads me to something. You obviously noticed, well, for those of you who are watching, I've now got a momentary switch over there. And I've also got a momentary switch over here. And what I've done, I quite like this facility. Now, essentially, if you listen here, so individually you notice nothing happened. But if I press and hold both of them,
disarmed,
and press and hold both,
armed.
So did you hear that? Armed and disarmed happening.
Armed.
So what I have done, I've used both momentary switches and set up a series of logical switches. I'm going to pop these up onto the screen for you now, and let me load this in front of myself so that I can also actually see what's going on here. You would think it would be easy, but for some reason I can't find it. Where is it? Where is it? Got it. Right, so how does this all work? Now, looking at the screen and what I've just popped up in front of it, you can see I've got L01. And that's essentially a logical switch. And what that logical switch is saying is that I'm going to do a sticky switch which listens to the outputs and what happens to turn on and off based on what logical switch 2 does. Now, what a sticky switch does is it basically says when a condition changes, latch in that direction. And don't do it unless it changes again in the same way. So basically what I'm saying is do a sticky switch which will turn on an LO2 and turn off an LO2. LO2 is basically looking at the next 2 switches. It's saying, okay, so if both logical 3 and logical 4 trigger, then do something. And right at the end you see there's the number 1 that says they have to trigger for at least 1 second. Now you'll notice the end result of this. Logical 3 is basically looking at the top left switch, and logical 4 is looking at the top right switch. And if they go over a value of 100, which means they toggled, then we latch on. And that's all this is actually doing. Now, from my side, what I do is I then use L01 as my arm and disarm switch. The net result is I can basically go armed and disarmed. Oh, got it the wrong way around in terms of the prompts. So we go disarmed and armed. Now, I personally think this is very, very safe. There's utterly no way you can trigger this by mistake. And if you were really pedantic, you could increase the time and have it go for, say, 5 seconds. You have to hold it between arming and disarming. You know, for me personally, 1 second's more than enough. It's long enough that I can forcibly disarm if I have to, and it's not going to turn on readily. You can see, boom, that didn't turn it on. I have to press and hold it. So I personally think it's a great way of doing it. Hopefully, the guys who make Radiomaster will actually turn around and listen and start releasing some switches, because it was a pig to adjust this radio. And long may the fantastic features of this radio continue, because I am utterly loving it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy. Have fun. Have a good day. Cheers.